education, which means more school after high school. Yay! Although some of you may be dreading the idea of more school after high school, some of you are probably looking forward to it. Either way, it's a really important part of this course, and it's extra important for you to understand your options. Okay? More and more, I'm finding that parents are pressuring their children to decide what they want to do with their future at a very early age. And with that, education systems like high schools and colleges are built in a way that what you do in high school influences your future in a very powerful way. So it's important for you, the student, to make educated decisions about your future, but in order to do that, you need to get educated on those options in order to make that decision. So we've already looked at what you need to graduate from high school. So now let's talk about what you can do once you have graduated high school. What are your options? So another word for after high school, I said it earlier, is post-secondary. Post means after. Secondary is referring to secondary school, so high school. You do elementary first, second you do high school. Okay? I've made a Prezi. Prezi is a website where you can make an interactive, kind of like a PowerPoint, but a lot cooler. If you haven't heard of it before, I'll put a link so that you can go check it out. It's awesome. I just learned how to use it making this, so bear with me. I'm still trying to figure out how everything works, but I think I did a good job. This Prezi shows you 4 different options after high school. And it shows, I'm hoping that the way that I've laid it out shows you how they relate to each other and how you can move from one option to another. So hang tight and I'll walk you through what I've done. And then I'm going to attach a copy of it so that after I've run through it and you want to take a look on your own and just read over it again one more time, you can go ahead and do that. There we go. Post-secondary options in Canada. So upon completion of high school, you can do on-the-job training. So some occupations only require a secondary school diploma and provide on-the-job training. So you only need your high school. You're obviously aware of this. Some of you probably already have jobs. So examples of these include cashiers, cleaners, and some sales jobs. You can choose to continue with these jobs from high school on until retirement. As well, many careers that do require post-secondary education still provide on-the-job training or professional development. So even though you go to college or university, there's still training that applies to that specific job that you need to have. Then we have apprenticeships. So these are usually for people who are looking to get into the trades. An apprentice is someone who learns a skilled trade on the job, so under the direction of more experienced workers. So you get paired up with someone who's been working with the company for a long time and they show you how everything is done and how to do things, but you're also connected to a school. So apprentices also complete classroom instruction as a part of their training. And this website right here, careersandtrades.ca, I highly recommend you look at this. Even if you don't think you want to go into the trades, look into it anyways just to see what there is. It's really nicely laid out and it's easy to use. Next we have college diplomas. So colleges are technical schools that offer specialized education in specific employment fields. So you receive a diploma, which often allows you to immediately enter your desired career path. So as soon as you finish this school, then you can go right into a job as long as they hire you. Examples of these careers could be developmental support workers, so you could work with people who have disabilities, electrical technician, a police foundations to be a police officer or even a security guard, and the culinary arts, so that's cooking. There's tons and tons of things if you're interested in more. This is kind of for more of a hands-on type of a job. And then there's apprenticeships and co-ops within those. So many of these programs have a co-op component where you try and get a feel for the career that you're training for. So in some cases, people seek apprenticeships after they complete their college diploma as well. So an example of a co-op would be within a class that you're taking, that whole entire class is spent volunteering at a place that you would like to work that's in that field. And then you come back and you talk about it and try and figure things out that way. Over here we have university degrees. So usually these are a minimum of 4 years. It's rare to find a 3-year degree. You're acquiring general knowledge about a field of work or a field of interest. So there can be criminology if you want to explore, if you're really into crime. There's social sciences, which are like why people do things the way they do them or how communities work. Psychology, arts, journalism. So if you want to be a sports reporter, you would go into journalism. So university teaches you how to look at the subject through different lenses. And by that I mean, if you're looking at journalism, you're going to talk about how other journalists look at each other, how the community, how people who are watching TV see journalism, how to be the best journalist you can be, different ways of approaching journalism. And then you research it. So people have done lots of research in the area. You're going to be looking at their research. You're looking at new developments and new ways of thinking. And then there's also looking at the history of something. So how people have always done it or how things have progressed from the beginning of that field to what it is now. Once you finish your normal bachelor's degree, you could choose to do a postgraduate specialization, which means even more school if you want to. So once you know everything about the field, you can now focus in on a specific area and apply your knowledge, or you can choose to research it in a little bit more detail. You can also make your own discoveries in that field. So the two options is you would first do your master's degree. So here you become a master of a specific topic within a broad spectrum of your field. So if you're into the environment, you did environmental studies, you could do your master's degree on a specific part of that. So maybe tree frogs in Africa. You can go and become a master of all the different types of tree frogs there are in Africa or something like that. And if you finish your master's degree and you still want to do more, then you have the option to go over and do your doctorate degree. So this is where you have the title of doctor in front of your name, but you're not a typical family doctor. This just means that you have created your own idea and then you've proved it, or you've discovered something new through your own research. So if you did your master's on tree frogs, you can do your doctorate degree and say that you want to research a certain type of illness that these tree frogs get, and you want to find out why they're getting that illness. This is what you would do your doctorate on. So you'd go to Africa and you'd research these frogs and create your own findings and figure out things and kind of invent something or discover that new disease and why it is the way that it is. Okay, so that's that pathway. Or you can choose to, once you get your university degree, to get your college diploma. So many university graduates go to college to narrow their field of study. So college makes you learn how to do the job you're interested in rather than learn how people have thought about it. So for journalism, let's say, you could go to school for journalism and know everything there is to know about journalism so you can be awesome at that job. And then you can go to college to know the ins and outs of let's say a sports reporter or a newspaper journalist. So it's very detailed and it talks about all the little details that have to do with that job that might prepare you better. Or sometimes if you can't get a job right out of university, people will go to get the college diploma so that you have 2 pieces of paper that will allow you to get that job. Okay, so something to consider. Many students will move into another option after completing their first one. So you can move forwards or backwards on this scale to obtain the training that you want or need. So you could go to university and then go to college, or you can go to university and then decide it's not for you and then decide to get an apprenticeship. And then on-the-job training pretty much happens within every job you have. But if you are completely against any idea of doing any further schooling after high school, on-the-job training, those jobs are the ones that you would be looking into. All right, so I hope that this gives you a good basis, and that's it for this Prezi.